Yes, so let's move on to our next speaker, and then what we will do is have a very short break. So now I just want to see if we have you with us, Nikolay. Are you with us?
I'm here.
Yes. Hi, Nikolay. Hello. So now we have Nikolay Vdovychenko. Nikolay, a very warm welcome to you. You are an experienced corporate lawyer and project manager here at Deep Knowledge Group. And I believe you are a fully qualified lawyer and a seasoned top performing legal professional. And you have, I think, a decade's worth of experience in various different legal assignments within the investment funds industry. Your background also combines working at law firms, fiduciaries, and in-house, so VC companies, private equity, asset managers, and other financial institutions as well. And having a substantial formal education and legal training, you are now based here at Deep Knowledge Group, and you provide us with legal assistance across all subsidiaries. Nikolay, it's wonderful to have you with us, and I'm very much looking forward to hearing your presentation.
Thank you very much, Roxy, for this detailed introduction. So for the sake of time, I'll keep it short because I know we are bad behind the schedule. So what I wanted to talk about today is about trends on the fiduciary market and also investing into SPV business. So thanks to Dominic, he basically covered partially our intentions for the SPV business setup, right? So I'll focus maybe more on fiduciary market and partly talk about SPV business as well. But what I would like to see maybe actually provide more food to everyone's thought and raise more questions than providing answers so we can take it further at the panel. So if we are talking about venture capital fundraising dynamics, you can see the table here, right? So it was growing dramatically since 2020. And here is the data of 2021, but eventually in the first quarter of 2022, the investment size was a bit smaller in Q1 in comparison to Q4 of 2021. It's due to global crisis and geopolitical situation. So, but the tendency is still there. So when we're talking about fiduciary markets, so what do we think about? First of all, we think about funds, we think about trusts, we think about investment vehicles, right, securitization, etc. And so within this industry, as we can see, it's pretty resistant to any type of crisis, especially when you're talking about different financial hubs like London, Amsterdam, Frankfurt, Luxembourg, Singapore, and so on. So within this jurisdiction, we can find a lot of opportunity to grow and benefit from if you're talking about fiduciary business, right? When you take someone's money or when you manage them, when you manage their corporate entities, and etc. So if you see also on the global scale how the fundraising dynamics were developing, so these are information only as per Q4 2021. As I said, in Q1, it was a bit less of the year 2022. So if you're talking about SPV fundraising mechanics, so on the slide, you can see a lot of bonuses, how it works. But from my personal experience and what I can present, that SPV is very flexible. So SPV can be used for different purposes, starting for, as a commercial company and ending up with a securitization vehicle, right? You can do securitization, you can do tokenization, you can have SPV regulated, you can have it unregulated, you can create as a fund, you can create different compartments within the SPVs. And so having this flexibility and combining that with deep technical knowledge and artificial intelligence and big data, this actually opens a new scale how to grow your investments, how to plan them, how to structure them, how to enter new markets, and how to efficiently exit your current portfolios. This is what we're doing here at Deep Knowledge Group, right? So we do analyze different strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and risks. This is pretty classical, right, approach how to do that. So you can take a look on the slide. But again, if you're talking about modern approach to SPVs, that's very different from how it was done a few years ago. And if we're linking it with fiduciary business, eventually big companies like institutional investors, qualified investors, private equity houses like Blackstone, right, Partners Group, Riverrock, etc., they even consider purchasing their own fiduciary companies, those companies who actually serve SPVs, right? Because it is proven to be a money well, right? You can find yourself some companies on the stock actually, and you can see how their stock evolves during the crisis. and that, it's pretty strong business, even though it's pretty demanding in terms of investment, creation of it, and maintaining. But what we are focusing here is to create something new at Deep Knowledge Group. Right? We try to implement new approaches, how to actually make complex things simple, how to provide those investors who would like to cooperate with us to find their portfolio companies, to find how to work with different startups, to how to fund them, how to maintain good relationship with everyone, how to provide them simple solution that will be mainly automatic, that it can take less time, less efforts, and less money. Because first of all, being an investor, you think what about? You think about your money, right? And the more money you have, the more concerned you are about your money. Therefore, you can see here on the slide like different methods of companies, how it was financed, equity, debt, hybrid instruments, etc. And what we are seeking to do at Deep Knowledge Group is to provide, again, maximum opportunities to flexibly set up your structure, right? Irrelevant to any jurisdiction, you may have different instruments, how you would like to set up the investment portfolio. Being in the UK, you would like to have different hybrid instruments, convertible notes. Being somewhere in Europe mainland, you may have equity investments, etc. So again, it's up to you, and we would like to provide these opportunities still remaining, cost efficient and growing in line with current tendencies in the state-of-art and technology side. So again, venture capital mechanism is very different, and it evolved quite a lot since few years. And again, feel free to take a look at the slide. You see that usually when you talk about investments, you can take about angel investors, venture capital, private equity, and then exit at the IPO, right? But there are new routes how you can find investors, how you can structure deals based on crowdfunding and public funding. You can have syndicates of investors, you can have specific fund of funds investments, you can have SPVs, you can have different approaches. You can even find a way how to get, qualified investors and a mix of qualified, non-qualified investors, like retail investors, still being in line with current regulation and compliance side of the things. This is a brief, comparison of popular platforms and deals, how they close those deals in comparison to investors on board, right? This is the same, but in comparison to startups they work with. And eventually, at Deep Knowledge Group, what we're trying to seek is the best and optimal solution, how to connect private investors, small and big investors, with companies that seek for financing, how to help them fundraise, how to help them present themselves, and how to help them make and create awareness of themselves, right, with respect to different investors on the market and with different countries, different jurisdictions, different portfolios, and more efficiently. So I believe you've seen this slide also in Dominic's presentation, so I'll skip past it. So in order to accelerate investment deal flow, right, we're setting up our own know-how, how to do this. We have gathered already a lot of information, and we would like to actually create out of raw data something new, something valuable. We would like to provide our clients, those being investors, those being fund managers, those being portfolio companies, with a specific value that no one else can. This is our aim, and I trust we're doing this to the best possible extent at this moment, having specific IT solution and specific legal know-how. So these are the key services that we are aiming to provide and already provide to our clients to the best possible extent. Right, these are our competitive features that will increase our value in eyes of our investors and also in eyes of our clients. And eventually, I would like to also make a reference to our big data analytical dashboards, right? This is a significant product that was developed by our colleagues in Deep Knowledge Group that actually brings us to the key point of our approach, that we try to gather as many information, as much data as possible, and then process it in the most efficient way to provide a result, right? So feel free to take a look, feel free to reach out to our team members to discuss more about this. And this may be also a significant tool for you, for your own research, for your projects, and even not if you're interested in SPVs, but you may be very interested in our dashboards. that will be on my end, and I hope to meet you soon at the panel and have a further fruitful discussion. Thank you.
Nikolay, thank you very much for your time and for your presentation. And of course, we will be coming back to it later during the panel. Ladies and gentlemen, I think it's time that we will take a very short break. We will return in just a few minutes. For those still with us, please do feel free to catch up in the chat box below as well. Feel free to network, to share your details and your contact details. As mentioned, we have been proactively sharing links and profiles throughout today's conference. I would also ask you not to be shy and to please send your questions in the Q&A box just at the bottom as well, if there's anything that you want to have us expand on further or to discuss. So we will return in just a few moments, where we will be hearing from two more very distinguished speakers. We have Thomas Heider from Microsoft and also Dr. Eric van Dijk. So yes, we will have a short break and see you in just a moment.